Hi, today we're going to look at Mercy Watson Goes for a Ride. Okay, this is book 2 in the Mercy Watson series. Okay, by Kate DiCamillo. Mercy and Mr. Watson going for a ride. Are they alone? I don't know. Okay, we're going to look at chapters 1 to 6. 1 to 6 in this video. Okay, so there we go. Mercy Watson. Remember in book 1, Mercy saved the Watsons, okay, when they're falling through their bedroom floor. Okay, chapter 1. Mr. Watson and Mrs. Watson have a pig named Mercy. Every Saturday, Mrs. Watson makes a special lunch. Time for our little Saturday something, Mrs. Watson says. You've outdone yourself, Mrs. Watson, Mr. Watson says. Oink, says Mercy. That is a good breakfast. It's big. Every Saturday after lunch, Mr. Watson goes outside. Mercy follows him. They stand in the driveway. Together, they admire Mr. Watson's convertible. Are you ready? Asks Mr. Watson. Oink, says Mercy. Mr. Watson opens the passenger door. Mercy hops into the car. She sits behind the wheel. She snuffles contently. Chapter 2. Hee hee hee, says Mr. Watson. Every Saturday. You, my dear, are a porcine wonder. But even porcine wonders cannot drive cars. Mr. Watson gently pushes Mercy towards the passenger seat. But Mercy does not move. She does not want to sit in the passenger seat. Mercy Watson wants to drive. Hee hee hee, says Mr. Watson again. He pushes less gently. Scoot over, my dear. Mercy does not move. Help me, Mr. Watson calls out. Every Saturday, Mrs. Watson steps outside. Darling, Mrs. Watson says, if you let Mr. Watson drive, I will make you an extra helping of hot buttered toast. I will have it waiting for you when you get back home. Mercy narrows her eyes. She loves hot buttered toast. She also loves extra helpings. Slowly, very slowly, she moves over to the passenger side. What a dear, says Mrs. Watson. She claps her hand. You are such a good sport, darling. Yes, says Mr. Watson. She most certainly is. He gets in the car and sits behind the wheel. He turns a key in the ignition. The Watson convertible rumbles to life. Chapter 3. Bon voyage! Mrs. Watson calls. Bon voyage, my dears. When you get home, we will all have hot buttered toast. Goodbye, Mrs. Watson, Mr. Watson shouts. Okay. Bon voyage. It's like, have a good trip. He backs the car out of the driveway very quickly. He does not look behind him. Not safe. Mr. Watson is a forward-looking man. He does not believe in looking back. A dangerous driver. Oink, says Mercy. Already she is having a good time. And we're off, says Mr. Watson. We're off on an adventure. Chapter 4. Eugenia Lincoln and baby Lincoln live next door to the Watsons. One of them likes Mercy, one does not. Every Saturday, the Lincoln sisters watch Mercy and Mr. Watson back out of the driveway. Every Saturday, Eugenia is displeased. Mr. Watson is a very bad driver, she says. He is a menace behind the wheel. Eugenia is angry. Yes, sister, says baby. Furthermore, says Eugenia, it is my firm opinion that pigs should not be taken for rides in automobiles. Particularly that pig. That pig is a sly pig. I do not trust her. No, sister, says baby. Baby looks down the road. The car has disappeared. Mr. Watson and Mercy are gone. Folly, says Eugenia Lincoln. She shakes her fist. It is folly, I say. Yes, sister, says baby. But secretly, baby Lincoln thinks that a little folly wouldn't be a bad thing. A little bit silly fun. Chapter 5. One Saturday, Mrs. Watson made a special lunch. After lunch, Mr. Watson and Mercy went outside. Everything happened just as it always did, every Saturday on Dicamillo Drive. So what happens on this Saturday? They look at the car. Mercy jumps in to the driver's side. Mr. Watson pushes Mercy. Doesn't move. Mrs. Watson comes out and talks to Mercy. Hot buttered toast. Mercy moves over, and then they go. Okay, so they're going to go. What folly, said Eugenia Lincoln, as usual. What nonsense. She paused. Eugenia waited for Baby to say, yes, sister, but Baby said nothing. Baby said nothing because Baby was not there. Chapter 6. Officer Tomilello sat in his police cruiser. A pink convertible sped by. Here's his police cruiser. Was that a pig? Officer Tomilello asked himself. Yes, it was, he answered himself. That most certainly was a pig. Officer Tomilello talks to himself. Is it illegal to take a pig for a ride? Officer Tomilello asked himself. I don't believe it is, he answered himself. It is unusual, he continued, but unusual does not equal illegal. However, it is illegal to speed, and that vehicle was definitely speeding. Officer Tomilello turned on his flashing lights. He pulled out onto the highway. He followed the car with the pig in it. Stop, stop, stop. Okay, we're going to do chapter 7 next, but if you look at this picture really closely, what is that in the back seat? Watch the next video. You'll see. Bye-bye. Have a good day.